everybody. Flosstube number one.
Number
But
one.
what is it?
It's our test tube.
It's our test tube. So our first one, we've been talking about it for months. Here we are. I'm Mary Lou.
I'm Amy.
And we are the two cross stitchers. So hopefully you find this a little entertaining. We'll see. I've done videos at my job. I worked at Angel's Sewing and Quilting, and I used to do the Friday morning videos with Carol there. So I'm a little used to the video thing. But so intro. So let's see. I've been stitching forever, it feels like. I grew up with a mother and a grandmother who were seamstresses, so I learned how to sew at a very young age. And then grew up, got married, and I don't want to make clothing. I'm on the crafty side of things. So I took up quilting. I made my first quilt all by hand for my firstborn son. And then one winter, I picked up cross-stitching, self-taught. Was in, I don't know, whatever the local craft store was at the time, and did that, and then went away from that. For many years, I raised 4 boys. For many years, was always occupied time somehow. And recently, around COVID time, like everybody else, fell right back into it, full boat. And I haven't looked back yet. I think last year, I had a little video I did. Last year, I had 38 FFOs. The year before, I had 32. So, yeah, I keep moving. And now I'm retired. So I stitch just about every single day it could be hours. So I have lots of free time to do that. So, yeah. Go ahead, Amy.
Okay. Mine's a little more generic. I grew up in Vermont, and I moved to New Hampshire about 26 years ago. I married my husband 17 years ago. He was the reason I moved to New Hampshire. So just to give you an idea of how Mary Lou and I met, actually, we were part of a quilting group on Facebook. Yep. And someone had asked, where's everybody from? And I scrolled the page to find out who lived near me. And I saw Mary Lou's name, and she said she lived in Hudson. And I was like, ooh, I live in Litchfield.
Town away.
I was like, we're real close. So I contacted her on Facebook, and we were Facebook friends for a couple years before we even met. And one day I walked into Angel's, where she just retired from. And I said, Mary Lou. And she looks at me like, who the heck are you? I'm like, it's Amy Zellers. And she goes, oh my God. So anyway, I also stitched in the 90s, back when it was real popular then. I stopped stitching mostly just because life got busy, moving, changing jobs, changing states. I also do knitting, crocheting, quilting, sewing, scrapbooking, card making, quilling. That's like twisted paper.
I have yet to try that one.
Oh, we'll do it together sometime. Then I got back into cross-stitching just this past fall. Mary Lou posted about a retreat with the library stitchers up in Maine. And I said, oh, I would love to do that sometime. She goes, sign up now. And so I went online, I signed up, and boom. We don't want to talk about how much I've bought since the fall. So that will not be included in haul.
So you'll see a variety of what we just talked about. I also sew, quilt, knit, crochet, everything. So you will see a variety, but most of what we will focus on will be cross-stitching. But that's, I think, it for our intro. We're gonna go down the usual scenarios that people do. Feel free to post your questions and whatever, and we'll respond to you as soon as we can.
And advice? This is our test tube after all. So
any advice, Emma? So we'll start with an FFO. And I did post this on my Instagram, so I know a lot of you have seen this already. So
I just love that.
Yeah. And Chantelle's wood finishes, they're just wonderful. I can't say enough. I really liked, I had never used this paint before. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of glitzy. So
cool.
really, yeah, it really did a nice job with that for the finishing. I know a lot of people are doing this. And I used everything just like they said. This blue sweater. Really Tealy is the name of that thread. I love it. I have to get more though because I almost used it all up. So that is the only FFO I have. So what do you have for an FFO?
So I don't have any stitching FFO, but I have some sewing FFOs.
Good.
This past weekend I went to my friend's house and she wanted to learn to make bags. So we just made,
pretty.
Yeah, it's called embossed vinyl. So
very nice.
We made some, I have some stuff in here, but you know, it's a nice sunflower lined, just a little pouch that you can put things in.
Yep.
But yeah, I love the feel of that in the embossed vinyl. It's really pretty.
It really is pretty.
Comes in all kinds of colors.
I have never seen that before.
I bought this at a store out of Pensacola, Florida called Classy Creations. And if we can figure it out, we'll link it.
We'll get there.
And I also, you're going to think I'm a bag maker, but not normally. I did a New Year's Eve stitch along, and this is called the Julia bag, and this is
nice
from
crossbody. It's a good size.
Yeah, it's a pattern from So Many Creations, New York, and there's actually 2 hidden pockets in the front, like underneath these little panels. Probably putting my hand right in the way of all of it.
Zippers right there. That's good.
Yeah, and then the main zipper in the top.
Yep.
No pockets on the inside because the pockets kind of take up the front space. But this was my first
I like
time.
This pocket, like slip your phone right
Oh
there.
yeah, the front one.
I like that.
And this was my first time doing one of those little, I don't even know what it's called, a zipper end stop maybe.
Oh.
It's the first time I ever done one of those. Anyway.
We've had them at the store. I've never used them.
Yeah, and this is made entirely out of cork. So this isn't fabric, it's cork.
I know some of the corks that are out there now are just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Yep, love it. So that's it for my FFOs.
Now what? FO. Oh, and it's not that old, but it is an older one. So hands-on design. I don't even know if it says. 2021. So not that long ago. So cute. So I did get the stitching all done, and just on plain white Aida, it's 18
beautiful.
count, and I am going to stitch it into that snowman body. That's how I will fully finish it. So maybe next time we do the video, I'll have them finished. But I just did this one. I might do the other one. I did start stitching it, but I wasn't sure I wanted it all. I like the one with the deers and stuff, not just the, yeah. So that was a good one. So Amy's got a couple.
Do you have more finished objects that you want to go?
That's it.
That's it? Okay. So I brought,
I did. Wait a minute, I did.
Oh yeah, you can do that
first.
first.
So I have a big window in my interior door that lets some daylight in. So I try to get seasonal wall hangings made for it. And I saw this quilt pattern, Lila Designs, Lila Boutique. So I just stitched one panel, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the whole thing, but there's 2 bunnies, the trees in the middle. So it's probably about 30 inches long. I think it was 32, to tell you the truth, now that I remember cutting the borders. And I'll get it all quilted, and it'll hang on the inside of that door. So there's one more down.
Oh, and on that note, Mary Lou and I are both long armers.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't say that.
We didn't. We didn't. But I am. And I do a lot of work for it. So
She long arms for other people. I don't. I just do it for myself. So Ready?
Ready.
Okay. I did 2 tiny towns this year. But seeing as I was bringing those two, I figured I might as well just bring all the tiny towns that I've completed so
Emma,
far.
check these out.
So
this will spur you on to finish those. I know you're getting close.
It's Emma's fault that I even bought any of these because I was watching her and Brandy on their Flosstube and she showed these tiny towns. I'm like, what? I'm buying those. So I did. So here's Big Hearted Tiny Town.
There you go.
That was the first one I did.
So I did all of them except this one. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah,
but
I think this was on...
I need Valentine decorations, so I'm going to stitch this now.
I don't remember the manufacturer, but I think the name of this one was called Waxing Moon, the fabric, and it's a 16 count Aida.
It's really cute.
And then this one is also 16 count Aida. I stitched these before I knew I was going to be doing floss
so
tubes.
Harvest Town, which is my favorite.
Yep, that's my favorite too because I love the fall.
That.
So there's Harvest and there's Halloween. And yes, I drew pencil lines on my
and
fabric.
The Christmas one.
And the Christmas. So these
I
were all
love that
last
tree.
Yeah, these were all last year. And I didn't put any of the buttons on yet because I'm waiting until I'm ready to fully finish. So this way I can still store them flat. So
nicely done.
And then this year's, which I've done since January 1, is Blooming and Seaside.
And Seaside. That's the other favorite of mine.
And this is on 16 count Cappuccino from Fiber on a Whim.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it really shows, but there is a little bit of green in that tone in that fabric. Just
really pretty.
Really just a smidge. So there's my first, these are all starts and finishes, starting with those last two tiny towns. And then this is called, got to look at my notes, Winter on the Square. It's a pattern that has, I'm going to kind of show you all three at once and then I'll get closer and show you. Has all three of these in one pattern called Winter on the Square. And that one is done on a 16 count Charles Craft. I even have the little band.
Michaels. And Amy had mentioned this, and I have a couple of these. I have a pink and purple one and a blue-green one. They're very pretty fabrics. Just
I misspoke. It's 14 count.
Hint of color.
Yeah, this one has like a little bit of peach, a little pink, and a little yellow in it.
Yep.
But I really fell in love with this pattern, and I thought the blue on the peach might make it really pop.
Right
so,
it does.
I have reserved this spot right here. I haven't cut it up and started finishing yet because I'm reserving this spot for the stitching retreat small. So, whoever gets my small, this is what the fabric's going to be. That's about all I'm going to tell you. So that's it for my finished objects.
Cool. So let's see. Whips. My current active whip that I've been focusing on because I wanted to get it done for Valentine's Day. Counting Puddles. Has anybody heard of those? They're pretty, reasonably new designer. I have a Christmas slicing one too, but I love these ladybugs.
They're adorable.
And then I took white Aida and I splashed it with pink.
Did you dye the fabric?
Yep.
Oh, look at you go.
And I think I only changed one color in that list. They had these little background hearts I have in pink, a very pale pink, were white, and they weren't showing up. Yeah. So I got a pale pink, and you kind of see them now next to all the others, but it's a heart shape, so I'm getting close. I got the two really big ones done, but it's been fun. It's been really good.
It's pretty.
So then...
Do you want to show your bag? Emma likes to see bags. It's cute. All the sewing notions. Did you make that?
I did. And I'm on a mission. So you guys got to watch out because my other Instagram is now called Mary Lou's Creative Studios, and bags and items will be showing up on there. So before Christmas when we met. Was it before Christmas? And we started talking about doing this.
Oh yeah, it was right before Thanksgiving.
Amy came over and visited a couple of times. And we went through my stuff.
I said, Mary Lou, let me go through those bins of patterns. Could I?
I have 2 Rubbermaid file, and there's all kinds of patterns in there, and some are quite old. But we went through my bucket. That's all my whips, and then some, because there was some over there, and there was some over there, and yeah. So
some in
I
multiple
came up
bags
with a list.
together.
So 2024, people were posting what they were going to do for 2024. So I have 24 whips. I have more than that, but 24 whips that I chose that are in my bucket. Here's my list. I actually already finished one. So those become my goal for the year. So every month I got 2 I'm going to focus on. This was part of a sale, and yeah, I stitched on it madly for quite a while. It's the first Quaker I've done. I don't know if I have a picture we can show. It's the first Quaker I've done. And of course, I have to jump right in. So Lila's studio, she has some great ones.
It's pretty.
It really is pretty. And I got pretty far. My friend Joe finished hers record time. But I see the next glittering bauble over there that I go chasing down. So I get sidetracked, but I do have a lot done.
It's a pretty fabric too.
This fabric
feels like 5
was part of my, no, it was part of my fabric of the month from Grace Notes. And Raspberry Latte. So it has a little hint of pink to it, but it is gorgeous.
I'm just showing parts of it. I'm sorry to block your face.
Beautiful to stitch on.
Soft.
And I did purchase, she came out with an autumn one, and I did purchase it, but I'm not even going to start it until this is done. So that is that, folks.
I didn't say this while I was showing my finished objects, but I did use all the called for colors for all of the patterns, so that was easy enough to remember.
Yeah, I try to do that all the time, and that's what I did on this. I'm using all her called for colors. Every once in a while I will switch things out, but I'll tell you that. So that's the one I'm focusing on this month, so I've got a bit done. Amy doesn't like ABCs.
Well, they're growing on me. I have never done a sampler chart.
Jardin Prive. It's a pretty tiny picture, but
you know the long, skinny ones that are like an alphabet? Yeah. I like those.
Oh,
yeah, like that.
I have one on a spool. I just don't have it on. I love this. I started this last year when I was in Florida.
ABC des Maisons.
Yep. There you go. This is 16 count Misty Morning by Vintage Needlearts. I use a lot of her dyed fabrics. I love vintage Needlearts.
I love that
fabrics.
This tan one,
Misty
down a little bit.
Morning.
Down a little bit. There we go.
There you go.
This one. For variegation in that house.
And all the copper colors, all the DMC. Yep. So, but I like this one. And then this guy, yeah, I made this one too.
Yeah, so you're going to have to show this folio.
My little keeper.
She might have to share this pattern with me.
Look at this. Love that fabric. This was a cast-off fabric from somebody, and I just love it. So, yeah.
Very nice. So, very convenient.
That's the whips. Those are the 2 focuses for January. We'll see how far I can get done.
So, I'm a little more of a monogamous stitcher. Hold on, drop something. And I would pretty much do one thing at a time. That's not totally true. I had about 3 things going at one time this month. But this is my current whip, and it's Rossi Balocchi by Renato Parolin. And I'll just get closer to, so it's a big tree. And I like to stitch on the scroll frame if I'm not using
I love
Q
this
snaps.
tree. I love this fabric.
This is Old Parchment from Needlearts, Vintage Needlearts, is it called?
Yep.
I could look at my notes, that would tell me, right?
It is so pretty. So pretty. Very much like mocha.
So this will continue down. The branches get wider and wider as it goes, and eventually there's a trunk on the bottom, and it'll almost fill the width when you get to the bottom.
Yep.
And I looked up the translation for Rossi Balocchi, and I think it translates to either red tails, red toys, or red balloons. So for this one, I'm going with red balloons. But I'm enjoying this one a lot. My husband bought me this for Christmas, the patterns from Italy.
I love that. Nice.
That's it. That's all I have for whips. One. I have another whip, but it's a knitting project, but I didn't bring it.
She opened up a can of worms at my house. And you'll see them as we go along doing our videos, if we survive this one.
So far, so good.
So, wow. Ooh. I did get a couple of things. Somebody posted this and I couldn't resist.
Ooh.
So it's an out of print design, and I tracked it down on eBay. Look at that little card though.
That is cute. He's all fluffed.
I know, it's so cute. So that's Valerie Pfeiffer. She does a lot of these birds. I have another one with the birds on a wire on a branch. But yeah, she does a lot of these. I have an ornament one I've done of hers. They're very nicely done, the way she shades all that coloring. And then I got Heart and Hands, the collector's heart for 2024. And I wasn't gonna, but I just love that.
Another alphabet. I like that one because they're quirky.
Yeah, and they have little like quilt blocks in it.
Of course I like it.
So that's a good one. And it comes with the linen and the little extra button. I don't typically stitch on linen, but I am going to stitch this one. I've done one of her priors. I did this one. And I did it on linen. Not a fan of linen.
It's adorable.
But I will do those on linen because I come with them and they're small enough. Won't take me long. That's it. That's all I got.
So I didn't bring much of my haul because we'd be here for 4 hours if I did, because like I said, I just started getting back into cross stitch. So I needed a lot of things, but I'll just show you one of the things that I did. So I really liked the Year in the Woods. I think it was last year's. It was 2022 or 2023.
Yep.
But anyway, I bought them all. And then I also bought the squirrel, which is a different series because I just love him. He's so cute.
I have the squirrel. I love that squirrel. He is adorable.
So I've already started as part of that. I'll just turn these around. I don't have the DMCs in here, but I did buy all the called for fancy flosses for each one of the patterns, and I shoved them in the bag. So that's about...
That'll get you started on the fancy flosses too.
Yep. And it's also gonna... One of the things that... One of my goals for this year is to stitch something on linen, and that'll come up in plans, which I think is next. Is that where we're going next? Should I just start right in then?
Sure.
Okay.
So plans.
Plans. I plan to stitch on linen. Here's the first one I chose. It is 32 count white Belfast linen.
Ooh.
And I'm going to be doing hands-on design.
Oh, that's cute. I love the thread colors in this. She had a good palette going on this one.
So it's irony, the opposite of wrinkly. And I've already written down like my little card, but I've got the flosses packed in there. And I've already bought the finishing piece to mount it on. I got it at an antique shop. It's a small antique washboard. So I'm going to hang that in my washroom.
That'll be cute.
So this will be my first linen project. That's like first linen on deck when I get the brevity to do it. Do you want me to keep going on plans or?
Yep.
Okay. So this one will include a prior stitch as well as plan. So this was one of last year's stitches. This is on 16 or 18 count Old Parchment. And it is the Prairie Schooler Nutcrackers. And my goal is to do 4 of them because I have a finishing piece that I bought at Hobby Lobby.
Really cute.
So I have this one in its own bag. Oh, which I made. This is a Lori Holt bag, and I didn't show my other one. Sorry, so I'll just skip back to that. I made this one as well. And my last plan, these are all just immediate plans. Brenda Gervais, who I know Brandy loves very much.
I didn't do any of these, so I might have to hijack these.
Yeah, she can hijack them when I'm done. But so I bought the entire year of wordplay. Did I say I wasn't going to do haul? And I also bought all the fancy flosses.
Oh boy.
That go with all those patterns. And really, this was, if you're a new stitcher and you're trying to save money, don't do what I did, because you don't really need, there's such small little motifs inside. You're not even going to hardly see any of the...
I've gotten better at looking at the pattern first to see where the colors are being used and deciding whether I want to, use the fancy floss or not.
Yep.
So,
and I've just been kind of doing it because I don't have a stash like most seasoned.
And I've been adding to it by watching what I've been doing at my fancy floss now. I have a whole dowel down there full. So.
Oh, and I made this bag as well.
And we have
this one zips on a diagonal, which is kind of cute. It's called a Lila, and I have this little cute little balloon dog zipper pull on there because he's cute. And this was a pre-quilted fabric, so I have another bag that's exactly opposite this. The brown's on the outside and the white is on the inside. So you'll see that.
That's great fabric.
Yeah, you'll see that in a future project. That's it for me for haul and plans.
Oh, plans. Oh, I know. Here's my plan. Here's my plan, man. Oh, so that is the fiber on a whim. So the snowman was stitched on fiber on a whim fabric. This is.
So
Missy, you just got this. You just got this pattern. I just watched your video.
I was watching it.
I only got
lunch.
it to stitch the cardinal. I love this cardinal. I love the pine cones. It stitched up so nice.
I want to stitch the owl then when you're done with the pattern.
So now, because I'm addicted to them and this fabric, I'm going to stitch all of them. So, Brenda Gervais couldn't have done a better job.
You look at that owl.
So I'm going to stitch them all, and I'm going to mount them. I'm going to finish them in the round.
Ooh.
I'm going to pad them up. I'm going to put braided, cording around. I just, what is it called? So it's 18 count. Affogato from Fiber on a Whim. I wish I had gotten more of this. I really love this fabric. I mean, every time I pick up a project lately and I look at it, I go, oh, that would have looked good on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll drive yourself crazy doing that. So I did that. I did the snowman on it, and now I'll finish the birds. So,
it's beautiful.
So that is my plan, is to keep working on those. And...
oh, look at this bag. This is a beautiful bag.
Hands-on design. I stitched that all out. I mean, when that pattern got posted, I snatched it up. And I stitched it in like days. I was on a mission and I did the bag. So at Christmas time, I love these little Lizzie Kates. I love assembling them. I did 2 banner ones, Halloween and Christmas. and now these snowmen. So they'll go across like that. But check this fabric out. This is, again, one of my Grace Notes fabric of the month, 18 count arpeggio. And I did start it. Look at this fabric.
It's beautiful. It makes
So
me feel
blue.
cold, though.
It's got a little gray in it. It's just pretty. So I started the little snowman up here in the corner.
And the white
But I'm
shows
gonna
up
do
good
it
on
one
it, so
place.
that's good.
I know. I bought 3 different fabrics, and this was sitting in my drawer in the pile of fabric of the month. I drove myself crazy trying to find one that I wanted a blue. So yeah. So those are my plans. That's the ones I'll be working on. So, and that's considered my new start too.
Ooh.
Because I just did it.
Yeah, pretty much everything I showed other than the tiny towns were all new starts. So.
Yep. So that's that. How about you? What plans do you have?
Oh, I
going
showed
forward?
my plans.
Just
My
that?
linen, my
Okay.
nutcrackers, and
Okay.
the only other plans
I love the Prairie School of Santas. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
the only other plans
That's
I
so
have is
cool.
I do have about 5 other projects kitted up that are linen that I just keep avoiding because
Yeah, linen.
I'm a fear of
I'm
linen.
gonna jump in.
I know, I gotta just jump
I
in.
had
And
to
I
force
have
myself.
magnification, so I know I can
I
do
have
it.
magnification. I needed a navy to do the Counting Puddles sleigh seam one. And I dyed some. I didn't like it. I purchased 2 different navies, didn't like it. So I went to the original of what they used, and it was the perfect color. So I stitched a little on it at Christmas time. I knew I wasn't going to, it was like the beginning of December. I knew I wasn't going to have it done for this past Christmas, but it'll be done for next year. That's my goal on that linen, so that one linen project. Oh, we have a visitor. Say hi, Maisie.
This is Maisie, isn't she beautiful?
She keeps coming over investigating our pile of stitching. She loves stitching. She's usually on my lap.
Is she pretty? I don't have any pets, so I love everybody else's when I get to be around them.
How about stitchy kindness? I don't have any.
I have a ton. Do you want to go down that road? I did bring it.
Yep.
Okay. So I have a friend. Let me just bring this onto my lap so I can be on screen. Oh, first I should talk about this bag because isn't it beautiful?
Tula
This is Tula Pink fabric.
with the owls.
Isn't that beautiful? I joined a bag swap club in December.
And that's cork on the bottom.
Yep, that's cork, and it's got some shiny stuff in it. And the gentleman named Charlie made this for me. And in the future, I can show the other bag. But first, I have this that Mary Lou just gave me when I walked in the door. Do you want to tell the story behind it, or are we good with just...
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And the...
We haven't seen each other since before Christmas.
Chantelle 141,
So
the little
floss
thread
holders,
floss
yeah.
holder, and
the box
the
to do it.
that it goes on. So there's that. And one of the women that I sew with, I belong to 2 different sewing groups. We have a handwork group that meets at Thread in Hand in Candia, New Hampshire, the first Saturday of every month. And when I go to that group, it's just hand stitching. It can be knitting, crocheting, cross stitching.
I might have to stop by
I know.
there.
I keep thinking, I got to tell you about it, right? And so you can do anything as long as it doesn't involve a machine. And then the 3rd Saturday of every month at the same location, Candia, Thread in Hand in Candia, they have a featherweight group. And the woman in this featherweight group didn't know I was a cross stitcher because she's not part of the handwork group. But I happened to stop in December because I was going to visit a friend. I wasn't staying to stitch, and I was just stopping in for about a half an hour. So I brought some cross stitching with me, and I was sitting down cross stitching during sewing machine group, which technically is a no-no, but they let me do it. It was December, so whatever. And she goes, "Oh, you cross stitch?" She goes, "I got a ton of stuff I can give you." Well, here it is. I've got some
Aida.
some more Aida.
This
Look
tin.
at this
Look
tin.
at this tin. I love this
I'm so
tin.
excited about the tin.
I didn't know what to expect, and I popped it open.
It's full.
It's full.
And look at
and
this.
It's not DMC. This thing says Singer.
Yeah. It says Singer on it.
What's the other one?
There's JP Coats.
Oh, yeah. So that I've heard of.
And then this
Coats.
other one is called American Thread 6.
Wow.
Star 6 strand.
So, yeah. So she'll have to try it out, see if it's any good to use.
A floss organizer with some floss in it. There's a pair of scissors in there. I won't bother opening it.
Scissors.
And then there's, look, we're stacking into the into the frame. I love that one because I'm a quilter, and it just
Toad in the Garden. They had some great great patterns.
Yep.
I know.
So I'm just gonna flip through these. I'm not gonna bother saying what they are, but fabric, fabric. This is a linen. This looks like an even weave.
Yeah.
This is a Charles Craft Aida. We got some,
and then she got some
waist canvas. And I was like, Mary Lou, what is this? And there's this, I believe, has already started to be stitched. There's like a project in there. There's the pattern. So I already created. Oh, there's other.
Another Aida. Oh,
yep,
and this one
she had already started stitching. So I'm going to look through these patterns and see if I can find.
It's there.
It might be in here. I haven't had a chance to fine tune, go through all of it yet. Yep. So, and then
this bag, we won't show them all, but we'll show.
No, we're just going to flip through them.
We'll flip through a few for you. And a lot of them are older. Like, I took out the first 2 cross-stitch magazines. I missed this magazine, Better Homes and Gardens, Cross-Stitch Country Crafts. These were great. 1995.
This one's 1993. Look at that Raggedy Andy doll. The Raggedy Andy.
Unbelievable. 94. Stitches World. And there's bunches and bunches of patterns. It's funny, I went through this in Leisure Arts, right? We all remember them. I have this pattern, I said to her. But there's tons of it. So this will keep her busy for a while.
Yeah, it's going to keep me busy for a long time.
So I think we got a lot covered. I think it was a great test tube. Missed. It's a great test tube. She missed. I started a local stitch group that meets at Panera in Salem, New Hampshire. Southern New Hampshire Stitch Group. We are going to meet going forward on the second Saturday of every month. We have quite a group. They started with like 4 of us, went to half a dozen quickly. I gained 2 more people, new people came this past week. Amy wasn't there. This past time I had 2 new people. So it's growing little by little, and everybody stitches such different things. It's really, and the conversation is always so. And we have a wonderful
Facebook page for that group, so we do post into that group. So Mary Lou will let you in if you ask to be a part of that group. It's called Southern SNH Stitchers Group or Stitch Group.
Yep. Also, I want to mention, Reese opened her store. She had her grand opening 2 weeks ago now, I think. The Crafty Grimalkin. We had to all scurry around looking up what that meant, and it's cat. It's a cat. So I've already done a pre-order with her for 2 new patterns that are coming out. So we'll see how that goes. I know that that stitch group, they met there this past weekend. They were there in the shop stitching away. So it looks like a really happy place. I am going to have to get there. I'll be up in Maine over the summer, and I'll make sure that I get up and visit the shop. So
yeah, so for us, it's not quite as close as the World in Stitches is, and maybe even Stitch New England is.
It's about
the same distance.
I think it's about the same.
So it's not unreasonable or unheard of for us to go there. I've bought from Crafty Grimalkin already online. So
So I want to thank you all for bearing with us during our test tube. We'll see. We may do it just once a month or so for now and see how it goes. But thank you. It's been great chatting with you all. And,
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Hope you come back.
Like, subscribe, do all the things. So hope to see you all soon at some point. Bye.